Hello, everyone. Susan Gerbic, waiting for a delivery. I'm going to be working in the garage today. And we don't really care, but that's why I am going to give you a little video that has been released years ago. I think it's probably 2010 or something. It's been on the Susan Gerbic channel. And it is a free tarot reading by Mark Edward. And it if you've been following some of the videos I've been putting up, my partner Mark Edward died in August of 2024, and I'm recording this on I have to look at the calendar every time, the 26th of February 2025. And I'm releasing some of his videos that we did together. He was a psychic medium for not a medium, he was a psychic he worked as a psychic. At the same time, he was also working with the skeptics, and he wrote a book called Psychic Blues about the psychic industry. And he worked on the Psychic Friends Network. He worked at psychic spiritual retreats. He did infomercials for the Psychic Friends Revival Network that I'm going to release that video eventually. He's done all kinds of stuff. He was an expert on psychics. So he was a mentalist, and a mentalist is a person who is a magician, but their branch of magic falls under a different kind of type of magic, which would be mentalism, which is like to appear to be a psychic. So he was an expert on seance theory, and he's written many books on seance for people who are mentalists who want to learn to do bizarre magic. Sorry, that I heard something going on. Very exciting here in the room. Anyway, so that was Mark Edward. You can learn lots more about him. You can just Google him, and he's been on many, many TV shows. And I will about psychics, and I will put those up eventually as well. So today, now he lived in Los Angeles, San Pedro area for most of his life. And him and I had a long distance relationship until 2019, right before the pandemic. Of course, nobody warned anybody about the pandemic coming, but just so happened he moved up to Salinas, which is where I live, to move in with me right before the pandemic. And we used to see each other every few weeks. And when we would get together, some of the things we would do would be to come up with these weird things. Now, I didn't know anything about editing or anything of the sort. So what you're going to see is his living room, his dining room table, and he's wearing all these things, and he's got this is kind of what he would look like, I guess, if he was going to be going to a place and doing tarot readings. Now, tarot reading is a skill. It is storytelling, and so is mentalism. It's all storytelling. And as you can see from some of the other videos I've done with Mark Edward, I have one released here on a playlist for Mark Edward that's called Banana Readings. And he believed that you could read anything. I mean, anything. And just using a system and storytelling and confidence, anything looks like it's real. So he absolutely adored tarot reading. I have a zillion tarot decks here at the house. He wrote a book on tarot reading, how to become a tarot reader. I know this all sounds really odd, considering that I am this huge skeptic that debunks psychics, and that my longtime boyfriend was so into this world. But you're not going to learn anything about this world if you don't get into it. And that's why I always buy the VIP ticket when I go to see a psychic, because you're not going to learn much from the back of the room. You want to be up in the front and involved. And so, I mean, as a storytelling device, tarot's fascinating, and it's very insightful about what you can hear into the reading. And it's all about, using cold reading tactics and what is general statements that seem relevant to people. Mark used to say, that he would just talk about what was on his mind. And usually the person on the other end would be like, yeah, oh my gosh, that is so accurate. We used to do this. He used to do readings at skeptic events. He'd put a little table together and he'd do tarot readings, and people had a lot of fun with it. Oh my gosh, we had a lot of fun. And it is very interesting. If you haven't had a tarot reading, you should have a tarot reading. But since you don't have time to do that right now, I'm going to give you a reading that Mark Edward did, and it is the opposite of what you would expect. He went into it saying, let's do completely the opposite of what a normal tarot reading would be, and that's what you're going to see. And then I'll talk about it after the reading, and we'll see what you thought.
Okay. So you want a reading, huh? Okay, I'm going to give you a reading. Here's the tarot cards. I don't use the whole pack because it takes too long, and I want this to be quick and to the point, so I'm not going to use the whole 78 card. This is just the 22 major cards. You could shuffle them, but it doesn't make any difference, so I'll shuffle them a couple times here. Shuffle, shuffle, and now I'm going to cut them into 3 piles: past, present, and future. There we go. Normally I'd let you cut them into the 3 piles. That's what you're supposed to do, but it doesn't make any difference. Who cares? Okay, here's your past, here's your present, here's your future. Let's see what we've got. The Lovers. Strength. Judgment. Past, present, future. The Lovers in your past basically says that there's no more love in your life. It's over. You're not going to have any, there's no marriage. I don't see any marriage or children. Basically, the successful combinations that you had with people in your past are over now. You're probably looking at, if we look at the future, we'll get to it, but it's probably going to be loneliness, bitterness, resentment, a lot of people around you who are, you're not going to get along with. Probably lose a lot of, I don't see a lot of financial success, because when there's no people in your future, since this is in the past, you're probably not going to have any money either. So that's your past. Even though it is over, it doesn't mean that this card doesn't continue in your present and your future. This is your foundation. This is where you're starting from, and then we work out from there. So love is in your past. Now we come to strength. This is what's happening right now. Strength, here's this lady, she's, I don't know, looks like she's holding a lion's mouth open or something. I don't know. Your strength is drained right now. You're tired. You've got really nothing to look forward to, no prospects. Business is kind of like holding a lion's mouth open. I mean, there's no strength. It's there, but you don't really know how to get it. You kind of know what you want, but you're not getting what you want. And this looks like right now, strength is eluding you, and you better be careful, because I mean, here's a woman, she's holding the lion's mouth open. I mean, you get your freaking hand chewed off right now. So I wouldn't even try to do anything right now. I would just don't do anything. Just don't try to show any strength or make any moves in any direction. I don't see any movement. There's not really any travel or any nothing coming out of the area of travel at all. Excuse me, let me get a little drink here. That's good scotch. Yeah, so strength, that's out of the, really, it's there, but it's, like I said, the lion thing and the woman, she's, it's dangerous. It's a dangerous time. So I wouldn't do anything right now. Okay, now we make the big old leap from present to the future. Future card is judgment. Judgment. I mean, here's this. I guess it's supposed to be an angel or something, and she's trumpeting down to these cadaver. These are like corpses coming out of the ground, you know, and she's trumpeting down to them, and she's like judgment. She's judging. So it says in your future, you're going to be judged, you know, and you're going to be like coming out of the ground. You're going to be like dead, you know. There's death in your future, you know, and the angel here. I don't know why she's got this. The flag has got like some sort of it's a Norwegian thing or something. I don't know. Maybe you're gonna die in Norway, or maybe there's. Anyway, there's a lot of these. Maybe it has to do with these people from your past. They're gonna, you know, rise out of the ground and haunt you or something. You know, so even when you're dead, you're still these people that were in your past are gonna like come back and get you, and then the angel's like, you know, trying to tell you something like, you know, you did wrong, you know, you're doomed. The angel's trumpeting down, the judgment's judging you, you know. So all the things that you did in your past that were wrong, you're going to be judged for, and you're going to, you know, you're probably going to end up in the ground like these, you know. You're not going to heaven, you know, that's for sure. It's that you're down with these other people here. They're, I don't know, they're losers basically. So, you know, there's not much going on here. There's judgment and no strength and no love. So you're probably not going to have any family around you in old age. I mean, they might be around you, but they'll be dead. So, you know, I don't know, maybe they'll come and visit you if you've got some kind of spirit guide or something. Maybe your spirit guide's going to like have a trumpet, you know, the trumpet trumpeting to you, blah, 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 blah. You know, keeping you awake all the time and bugging you, and like having an irritating family member around you that just won't shut up, you know, and judging you all the time and making you feel like crap, you know. Basically, that's what you got to look forward to. So I hope I was helpful. Thanks. Okay.
Isn't he adorable? I miss him. So Mark Edward was a very detailed person when it came to mentalism, which is basically what he's doing, mentalism, but with tarot cards. And so the objects you'll see are the objects he would use if he's doing a tarot reading or palmistry or whatever. I mean, there's little crystals, and there's little stones, and he's got his little palm crystal ball, and all the little details that he has, the books in the background, the little thing he's wearing. I mean, that's all there because he was a very detailed mentalist performer. It's a performance, really. And that's one of the reasons why I think he was the greatest mentalist. And you're not going to be able to argue with me about that, because I think he was freaking amazing. All the detail he put into things. But like the juice that he's drinking, he says it's great Scotch. It's apple juice, because he was an alcoholic. He never drank, never, ever, since I've known him in 2009. But he added that in because he wanted to kind of parody the opposite of what you would normally see at a tarot reader. And the cards that he pulled up, those are just random cards he pulled up. That wasn't like he had thought about it before or had made it so those cards came up. None of that. No, it was just, that was off the top of his head. And you can kind of tell. I love the Norway. Wah, wah, wah. That's so like Mark. But anyway, so we had a lot of fun with this. We made this video because we wanted people to think about how it is that when you have a reading done, any kind of reading, it's always positive. You're always in heaven. I mean, your loved ones are in heaven, or, um, and positive things are going to happen, and they're always watching over you with love and wonderful good things. And it's like, really? I know. Have you met some of these dead people? Oh no. But um, there are people, and this is not a branch of the psychic world that I get into. This is more of my friend Bob Nygar, who does psychic, dealing with laws, and people who prey on people who will get a reading, maybe $5 or whatever, and then they end up being drawn in to more and more and more money. And then they do switches, and they do, like, you have to buy candles and the egg thing, or you have to take your money's cursed, the curse kind of psychics. And there's a whole industry out there. It's extremely dangerous. Oh my gosh, you guys, run if you ever get involved. If you know of a friend that's involved in that world, get them out. It is really dangerous. They're very predatory. You could lose everything. It's like a romance scam, but with psychics, and they will tell you all sorts of evil things, that somebody's cursed, your dead child's in purgatory, and we have to perform these rituals to get them out, and buy these gold bars, and and the next thing you know, you financed a Maserati for your psychic that is supposedly helping you. No, it's really bad. So what Mark was doing with the tarot reading is kind of like what you would get if you were at, if you had gone to one of those kinds of psychics, the cursed psychics. But, we were doing this to really show how it would look if they were really factual about what was going on in your life. I mean, he's just looking at the card and he's making general statements. And then you do it with confidence, and you do it with a kind of a skill and a storytelling element. People who want to have a reading, they want it to be real. They just paid money. They've been in line. They drove out of their way to go to see a tarot reader or whatever. They're already motivated to get a really good reading. So that's kind of what ends up happening with readings like this. So I have a lot of more videos I'm going to be releasing to you over time. I hope you enjoyed this one and you appreciate it a little bit more. There is a whole playlist for Mark Edward. And I really hope that you guys get to know him in ways that I knew him. And to me, he was a gift to the world. And since I had known him in 2009, we just did constant battling of trying to educate people about psychic mediums and what was going on in the world. There's so much misinformation out there in the world about all kinds of things, and it's overwhelming to be trying to fight everything. So I have made the decision to not try to fight everything, but to try to fight little bits of things that I can fight against. I have lots of activism I do. I'm connected to lots of people who do a lot of activism as far as misinformation, but this is my kind of personal thing, is of the world of the psychic medium, the grief vampires out there, who, by the way, Mark Edward is the one who coined that phrase, grief vampire, not me. I just used it a lot, but he is the one who actually came up with the phrase grief vampire. So I leave this for you as my gift to you. And if you have comments, which I know you do, hey, maybe that reading resonated with you. When I put this video out years ago on my YouTube channel, Susan Gerbic YouTube channel, I did get a lot of comments from people who were, jokingly laughing about it and saying that it resonated with them. So if you're motivated, I'm sure you're going to find a lot about these different elements of how it affects you. Take care, everyone.